all the participants who registered for our workshop. So thank you and welcome all of you for this Friday's online workshop on Introduction to Python with reference to C. Now it is giving us immense pleasure. Our college, C.K. Pitawala College of Engineering Technology, is feeling graced by participants' arrival on online workshop on Introduction to Python with C, and our computer department is organizing the workshop for all the technocrats who are eager to learn Python. Basically, myself, Neelam Surti, I am the associate professor in computer engineering department, and two of my colleagues, Ayushi Tandel and Nidhi Hadia. So they are coordinating this workshop with me. So now come to the point that why Python, what Python, how Python. So these are some of the questions which everyone is currently thinking about. That what about Python? Why I should learn Python? What is there in Python? So this hurdles or these questions will be discussed throughout the semester, throughout this workshop. That exactly why you should learn Python, what you are going to learn in this Python, and where Python is used. So now this is the outline of our workshop contents that in today's 1 hour, what you people are going to learn. So Python programming languages. Why Python programming languages? Many languages are there. Why you are going to choose Python only, or why we have chosen Python? Who uses Python today? Features of Python, applications of Python. Likewise, as the name of the workshop goes, like C and Python. Python with reference to C. So once you are aware of C, it is very easy to learn Python. So that was the main constraint that for what we have chosen this workshop for. So basic concepts of Python. Now here we goes that how Python works. From this topic onwards, we will learn exactly how Python is working. Up till now, we will simply provide you why Pythons or some basic detail related to Python programming. Now the first question arises, why Python? So many languages are there in market like C#, Java, Python, but why Python? So I want to give you an example. Like I know one of the language, or I know my mother language, my mother tongue. So it is Gujarat. So why I should learn English? So anybody can tell me, or whether you have thought about that, why I have to learn English? See, English is for global communication. Say within my territory, within Gujarat, if I'm asking in my local language, everybody understands. But once you are going out of your territory, you have to speak in language which is understandable by all. So because of that, the invention of Python was taken place. That if only I know C, then it is similar to that of my mother tongue, isn't it? But if I want to develop web development also, I want to do machine learning also, AI also, blockchain also, then all these things are possible to be implemented using Python. You are having limitation of C#, you are having limitations of Java, you are having some limitations of C, but to overcome all this, what we are having is Python for you. So as a result, as I told you, that it's necessary to choose it. So Python ranked. So this is one of the milestone which is there for Python, that Python was ranked as one of the top programming language in 2019. So top programming language. So first thing what came into our mind is, why not to teach all of you Python, isn't it? So that was why we have chosen Python for teaching you people. So who uses Python today? So instead of who uses Python today, I should ask you that who is not using Python. So Python is being applied in real-time revenue generation products, in real application, in all the real companies, in all the real markets. Like Google is using Python, Cisco, Intel, all the companies, most of the companies who are involved with IT, information and technology, they are using Python for this purpose or that purpose. Like Intel, Cisco, they are using for hardware testing. YouTube, mostly people are using social medias nowadays, like YouTube is there, Instagram is there, Netflix is there. So each and every application you will go through that here or there. Python is always useful to you. Features of Python. So there are specific things related to Python which you people have to know, that it is easy to learn. So those who are aware of high level languages, any of the high level language like C is there, C++ is there, or Java is there, once will come to us Python, you will learn that it is very easy to learn Python apart from other languages. Likewise, it is
that you can say that response time of interpreted languages are always higher than that of compiled language. See, it is compiled language. So whenever you are compiling a language within C, a code within C, it is taking a huge time. It is giving so many errors. Instead of that, interpreted languages, as and when error occurs, you will be notified. Cross-platform. Cross-platform says that on Windows, Linux, Ubuntu, on many of the different languages, many of the different platforms, you can use Python. Free and open source. So it is freely available. Python is freely available on its official website. You can have the source code of Python. Say apart from that, it is open source. So as and when the new code or new developer wants to add its own code, it is because of that it is extensible. It is extending day by day and new features are included. It is object oriented. Object oriented what signifies that object oriented class. So within C is not an object oriented language. So because of that, many difficulties are there when you are writing a code in C. So that can be overcome by object oriented. So in object oriented, you are having classes and objects using which it is very easy to write a code and it is very easy to reuse the code. Likewise, the second point, the main features of Python, extensible. As I told you that C++, whatever the languages are there, so those languages can be extended as far as Python is concerned. Expressive language. So as you are writing the code in Python, it is always very easy to understand. It is very easy to read. So if you are writing the same thing in C, Java, then only I think that if it is not properly written, then only the writer of that code must know that this is needed. This line is written for what purpose, this line is written for what purpose. Because of that, in case of Python, it is designed in such a way that non-readability or no expression that is not at all possible. As and when you will write the code, it is always in understandable form. Likewise, it is having a huge standard library. Python, you can say that you are having different libraries for different functionalities. GUI is supported in Python. So whenever you want to write any standalone application also, then GUI is supported in Python and it is very easy to learn that also and integrated. So it is integrated with other languages like C, C++, Java. Now the thing is application of Python. So where, as I told you that where Python. So Python is used everywhere. So instead of that, I should ask you that where not Python. In this application or that application, everywhere Python is used. Web development, game development, GUI applications, standalone desktop applications, web scraping applications, business applications, audio video, enterprise applications, machine learning, artificial intelligence, blockchain, and many more. Python is always used. Now, here the title of our workshop is Introduction to Python with reference to C. So it is assumed that C is already known to you. So once C is known to you, at that time the thing is compared to C, what extra things are there in Python? So it is assumed that I can give you an example that if a kid is learning bicycle, so after learning the bicycle, he may learn two-wheeler, he may learn four-wheeler, even he may learn aeroplane. But the thing is, bicycle to a kid learning that is compulsory. So from my side, what is my opinion is at least for a new programmer, C must be known to him. So if it is known to him or her, it is very easy to learn that why Python or what is that extra thing in Python? What is that extra in Java? What is extra thing in C Sharp? What is extra thing in C++? Now, because of that, once C, then you can learn anything. Now herewith I'm ending the session and I'm handing over this session to Ayushi Kandel. So thank you for listening. Yes, sir.
Hi friends, myself Ayushi Tandil. I'll be covering the further topics, starting with Python versus C. So what's the difference between C and Python? First is C is an imperative programming model and Python is an object-oriented programming model. By imperative programming, it means that it is a paradigm of computer programming in which the program is a sequence of steps. Supposing we are trying to add two numbers, then the steps will follow is we'll get two numbers, then add those numbers and then display the number. So it basically is how to accomplish a task. Whereas object-oriented programming, we combine a group of related variables and functions into a unit, and we call that unit as an object. An object consists of property and method. Next is C is a compiled language and Python is an interpreted language. By compiled language, it means that a compiler is used to convert the C program into machine language. And in Python, an interpreter is used to convert the Python program into machine language using virtual machine, which we'll see further. There are limited number of built-in functions available in C, whereas there is a large library of built-in functions in Python. Pointer is available in C language, but no pointer functionality is available in Python. C does not have complex data structures, whereas Python has some complex data structures. Declaring a variable type in C is necessary condition, like how we declare variable in C is data type, a variable name, and followed by a semicolon. But there is no such declaration in Python. We simply write a equal to 10, no data type, no semicolon. It's simply assigning a value. Next is syntax of C is harder than Python, because of which programmers prefer to use Python instead of C. Whereas Python is easy to learn, write, and read. C programs are saved with .c extension, whereas Python programs are saved by .py extension. C is rather more complex than C. Python is much more easier than C. Next is we'll see how execution of C program is done as well as the execution of Python. Here, first.c is called the source file which gives the code of program. The compiler looks for error. If there's no error, it stores the file as .obj file, which is the object file. The compiler does not know any operations, that is printf or nf. So definition of this is stored in library function. What the linker does is when we write #include, it includes stdio.h library, which gives access to standard input and output. The linker links object file to library function and program becomes first.exe, which is the executable format. Loader loads the executable module to the main memory for execution. So basically what the compiler will do, it will convert the program into machine code. Next is how the execution of Python program is done. So the interpreter reads the Python code or instruction. It verifies that it is well formatted or not. That is, it will check the syntax of each line. If it encounters any error, it will halt the translation by showing error message. If there's no error, then interpreter translates it into bytecode. So here the bytecode is sent to PVM. What is PVM? PVM is Python virtual machine. What it does, it converts a bytecode into machine code, which is bits of zeros and one. If any error occur during the execution, the execution is halted. Now we have provided few links for installation on different OS, which shows stepwise installation. Here we have listed a few editors on operating system, that is Windows, Linux, and Ubuntu. Few more editors we have listed up: Python, IDLE, Spider, Jupyter Notebook. Jupyter Notebook and Spider comes in Anaconda Python, PyCharm, Thorny. Other editors like Visual Studio, Atom, Sublime Text, and many more such are available. Depending on the system, you can use whichever is feasible. In this workshop, we will use Jupyter Notebook, which is a part of Anaconda Python on Windows operating system. Now, starting with the basic concepts, Today we'll see this concept, that is variable, data types, keyword, literals, operators. Starting with variable. Variables in C versus variable in Python. You know that variables are the names used to refer some memory location of computer. So how the variable is declared in C is that we use a data type and a variable name followed by semicolon. Example, int a is equals to 10. That is int is data type and assigning a value. This is not the case in Python. In Python, all we do is a is equals to 10. There's no data type involved, no semicolon involved. We simply write a is equals to 10. Similarly, for float and double also, no need to declare any data type. This is a sample program of C and Python. Here you can see that in C, the steps are more compared to Python. In C, we include header file and main function. This is not the case in Python. We simply assign a value and then print those values. We'll see a demo. This is an Anaconda Python which we have used. Here we have to launch the Jupyter Notebook. We'll start with a simple hello world program, how it is done in Python. We'll print a hello world. That is print. Hello world. This is how it is done. No header file, no function is involved. Now we'll print a variable. How a variable is done in Python. We'll take x equals to 10 and then we'll print that a. And then we'll simply run. This is how it is done. That is, it is more simpler than C. Now chaining assignment is not available in C, which is available in Python. That is, if we write a equal to b equal to c equal to 5, and then we'll print. And then we'll run it. This chaining assignment is not available in C, but this is available in Python. Then now next is how the rules of C, what are the rules of C variables and rules of Python variables. A variable name must begin with a letter or an underscore, which is same in C and in Python as well. A variable name cannot start with a number. Same thing in Python, it cannot start with a number. No special symbols are allowed other than underscore. A variable name can only contain alphanumeric character and an underscore. There shouldn't be any special symbol involved. Variables are case sensitive in C as well as variable in Python are also case sensitive. That is name starting with the caps and all caps. These are the three different variables. Now the other concept is data type. Data types in C versus data types in Python. We have data types in C as it involves basic data types, which includes integer, float, character, double, derived data type, which includes array, pointer, structure, union, enumeration data type, which consists of enum, and void data type, which includes void. But in Python, the data types are different. Number, it includes number, string, list, tuple, and dictionary. The number type includes integer and float, but in C, character and double data types are included, but this is not there in Python. One more thing is added, which is complex type. Now data types in Python, we'll see the Python, how the Python numbers are there. There are three numeric types in Python, which is int, float, and complex. Variables of numeric types are created when you assign a value to them. This is how it is done. That is x is equal to 1, which is an integer, y is equal to 2.8, which is float, and z is equals to 1j, which is complex. We'll see in detail. Variable can hold values of different data types. That is, Python is dynamically typed language, hence we need not define the type of variable while declaring it. The interpreter will implicitly bind the value with its type. Now, numeric type, which is integer, there's no limit for the size of int data type. In C, we had the limit for size of data type, but here there's no limit. It includes positive or negative value, which is without fraction or decimal, can store very large number conveniently, only limited by the memory of the system, depending on the memory of the system. Example is a equal to 20. That is int example. Now, next is numeric type, which is float. You know, float is a real number with a floating point representation, which consists of decimal point. These are the examples, that is a is equals to 56, which is decimal point value. Other is complex. The complex number is represented by complex class. It is specified as real part plus the imaginary part, which is written in the form of a plus bj or a plus b capital J. A and B may be int or floats. This is the example of complex type. Python enables us to check the type of variables used in the program. Python provides us the type function, which returns the type of the variable passed. Here we have an example, that is A is integer, B is a string, and C is a decimal point. Python enables us to know the type of the string that we'll see in example. Supposing we write a equal to 10 and we want to know what type of variable it is, then we'll write type of a. And this will show that is an integer data type. Similarly, for string, if we want to know the type, then we'll write so here it displays which is a type of string class. So this is how it is done in Python. So now the further session will be carried out by Nidhi Haria.
I am audible. Hello. Okay. A very good afternoon to all of you. Hope you all are enjoying this session. Myself Nidhi Hadia, and now further I will be covering remaining topics. So let's start with commands. First of all, why we do need comments? Now think about the code. Our code will have lots of lines, starting from 10, 20, up to several hundred lines, or it may be having several different files also. Now think, if you write a code for a very first time and writing it, and it goes well, but now you remember everything about the code, but after 1 or 2 weeks, you will not remember that what will be there in our code. So based on this situation, we have a famous quote. Like when I wrote this code, only God and I understood what it did. But only God knows. This happens with all of us. So In C, we use double backslash to give a single line comment. Here, a red highlighted portion represents comment in C. But in Python, we use hashtag at the beginning of a statement as a comment. Here, red highlighted text represents comment in Python. For declaring multi-line comments in C, something written between slash asterisk and asterisk slash will be considered as a comment. Here, red highlighted portion represents multi-line comment. In Python, we can declare multi-line comments by using three different versions. In version 1, every sentence uses hash separately. In version 2, anything written between a triple double quotation mark considered as a comment. In version, anything written between triple single quotation mark considered as a comment. So our next topic is keyword. What is keyword? Keywords are predefined reserved words used in a programming that have special meaning to the compiler. So, what do you mean by reserved words in English or any general speaking language like a Gujarati, Hindi, or any programming language like Java, C, Python? There are some predefined words to represent some meaning or functionality. Let us take an example in English. Let us take apple. What is apple? Apple is a reserved word to represent as a one type of fruit. Cat. What is cat? Cat is reserved word to represent as a one type of an animal. So by this, now you can easily understand meaning of keyword. In C, we have 32 keywords. They all are case sensitive and they all are in lowercase. Here, also, red highlighted keywords are removed in Python. Here, only 7 keywords, which are same in both Python and C. Now, we are not worrying about the functionality of all of these. All of these we will learn in our next session. Keywords in Python. In Python 3.7 onwards, there are 35 keywords. Previous version of Python having only 33 keywords. Red ones are included new and black ones are same as in C. Here, first character of keywords like true, false, and none are in uppercase, and other characters are in lowercase. In other languages, in other keywords, all the characters are in lowercase. So this is all about keywords. The next topic is literals. So, what is literals? Literals can be defined as a data that is given in a variable or a constant. These support 4 types of literals: integers, floats, characters, and literals. Here, in example number 1, 23 represents integer literal, 4.5 represents float literal, A represents character literal, and Python represents string literal. Literals in Python. There are 4 types of literals in Python: string, numeric, boolean, and special. First is string literals. String literals can be formed by enclosing text in a quote. It can be single or a double. For example, Aman and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For better understanding of a string literals, firstly, we have to understand types of strings. There are 2 types of strings: a single line string and multi-line string. First is single line string. Strings that is terminated within a single line are known as a single line string. For example, text1 is equal to hello. And the second one is multi-line string. A piece of text that is spread along a multiple line is known as a multiple line string. There are 2 ways to create a multiple line string. First is adding a backslash at the end of line, and the second is using a triple quotation mark. In our first example, I use 1 for each line. It gave output as a whole complete text as a one. In a second example, I use three quotation marks. Anything written between three quotation marks considered as a whole complete text. Second is numerical literals. Numerical literals are immutable. Immutable means unchangeable literals. Numeric literals can belong to following four different numerical types. In example 1, 100 represents integer literal, 10.5 represents float literal, 89L represents long literal, and 3.14J represents complex literal. Third one is the Boolean type. A Boolean literal can have any of these two values, true, either true or false. For example, A equal to true, B equal to false. Fourth one is a special literal. Python contains one special literal known as none. None is used to specify to that field that is not created. It is also used for a end of list in a Python. For example, variable 2 equal to none. Our next concept is operators. The operators can be defined as a symbol which is responsible for the particular operation between the two operators. Operators are the pillars of program on which the logic is built in a particular programming language. Let us consider one expression 4 plus 5 equal to 9. Here, 4 and 5 are operands and plus is called as operator. In C, we have 6 types of operators, whereas in Python, we have mainly 7 types of operators. Arithmetic operators, relational operators, or you can say that comparison operators, assignment operators, logical operators, and bitwise operators are same in both C and Python. Whereas these operators containing operators like size of, ampersand, asterisk, and ternary operators are removed in Python. Here, two types of operators, membership operators and identity operators, are newly added in Python. So, the first is arithmetic operators. Arithmetic operators are used to perform arithmetic operations between two operands. It includes addition, multiplication, subtraction, division, exponent, and floor division. Last two operators are newly added in Python, which are not there in C. The second one is a comparison operator, or you can say that relational operator. Relational operator are used to comparing the value of a two operand, and it returns the Boolean value. Either it may be true or it may be false accordingly. It contains operators like equal to, not equal to, less than equal to, greater than or equal to, greater than, and less than. We are previously known working of all of these operators. So we will not discuss more about all of them. The third one is the assignment operator. Assignment operators are used to assign value to the operand. It includes equal to, plus equal to, minus equal to, asterisk equal to, modulo equal to, exponent equal to, and floor division equal to. Let us understand one of it by using one example. So for plus equal to, let us take x is equal to 8. Now try to add 2 in x. So we can write x is equal to x plus 2. So now x is equal to 10. This same operation you can do in a shortcut way, which is x plus equal to 2. The same thing you can do with a subtraction, multiplication, modulo, exponent, and a floor division. Here the extra here the extra assignments operators like left shift and right shift and uh, bitwise exclusive or and bitwise inclusive or are removed in a Python. The next one is the bitwise operators. So the bitwise operators are used to perform bit by bit calculation on the values of a two operands. It includes binary and binary or binary XOR, negation, left shift and a right shift. Then the next one is a logical operator. Logical operators are used in the expression evaluation to make a decision. It includes and, or, and not. And is used if both the in and if both the conditions are true, then output will be true. If one of the in or if one of the condition is true, then output will be true, and in not, if condition is true, output will be false, or vice versa, and vice versa. In C, we use different symbols for a logical operators. As in C, and represent as a double ampersand, or represent as a two vertical bar, and not represent as a exclamation mark. So the next operator is a membership operator. This is newly included operators in a Python. Python's membership operators test for a membership in sequence such as string, list, and tuple. It includes two operators, in and not in. In, it evaluates true if it finds a variable in a sequence and false otherwise. Not in, it evaluates true if it does not find a variable in a specified sequence and false otherwise. So let us do practical. Here in Anaconda Python, in a first example, I write x is equal to Python. X in py in x will give the result true because py is there in a Python. In second example, pyn in x will give the output as a false because pyn is not in a Python. The third one is pyn not in x will give us output as a true because pyn is not in x. Likewise, in example number 4, py not in x gives output as a false because py is not in x. So the next is identity operator. Identity operators compares the memory locations of the two objects in or not. It includes in, is, or is not. So in is, it is evaluated to be true if the reference present at both the sides point to the same object, and for is not, it is evaluated to be true if the reference present at the both sides do not point to the same object. So in Jupyter Notebook, in first example, I write x is equal to Python and y is equal to C. Here, x and y variables are different. So, in output of x is y is false. And in second example, x is equal to Python, y is equal to Python. Here, both the variables are same. So, the output of x is y is true. In third example, x is equal to Python, y is equal to Python, x is not in y returns false because both are same. And likewise, in example number 4, X is equal to Python, Y is equal to C. If X is not in Y, returns true because both are not same. So this is all about operators. So here I complete my my portion of presentation. Now I will be hand over this session to the Neelam ma'am.
Okay, from audience point of view. Okay, now from tomorrow onwards, the exact implementation will start. So as I told you that it was from reference to C. So as if the C language is already known to you, so what is there extra in Python that is covered in this session? Now from tomorrow onwards, I'll start the session with control statements which are applicable in Python, as well as array, list, string, the things which are there. And here you will learn programming, exact programming, because here the thing is you are having simply overview, that as if you are learning English language, alphabet you are learning, words you are learning, then you are having some sentences. Now the thing is, from this onwards, from now onwards, it was a live session. We only kept intentionally to have a live session so that you can only have overview. Why Python? Only that must be clear to you. But how to use Python, what you will learn in Python, that will start from the next session, from tomorrow onwards. So many of the students are asking us related to the PPTs and the presentations, what is shown over here. So when you are coming towards the next session, better to have an overview of what we have covered today. So this presentation we are going to share on YouTube, because many of the students, as the limitation is always there for this, that we are having YouTube, means we will upload this presentation on YouTube, so that many of the other students also who are willing to join the workshop, but because of the limitation of number of participants, they are not able to join it. So as and when the session will over, we'll upload this PPT, this presentation on YouTube after rectification of some of the portion of this presentation. So as I'm telling you that as it is a workshop, from our side, we will provide you some assignments to be solved, and the media through which we are providing the assignment is through Google Classroom. So all of you must have got one invitation from my side for joining Google Classroom. So accept that invitation. So once that invitation is there with you, so it is MCQ only. So many of the students are telling, ma'am, this. So again, I'm telling you that it is a lightweight thing. Only the concept what you learned, we only want to verify that when as and when something which is to be implemented in code. So we will inform you that try it from your side, because Python you have to learn. It should not be a burden. Getting that? So that is the case. So here we are ending this session. Any queries are there? Google, we have set one assignment for just testing that whether you are getting that access denied type of thing. Most of we have tested it. Most of you are not getting it. But solve that, and after completion of this session, we will provide you for today's session some of the MCQs which are to be solved out. Okay, any queries are there from any of the participants? You can ask at this point only. So you Google channel name and everything we will provide in next session. Today's session we will keep after editing, and all this information we will provide to you in next session. Getting this on Google Classroom, everything would be specified. Now onwards, whatever communication is there between the team, we are having a team. Now onwards, we are a team of all the participants and all the teachers which are teaching over here. Whatever queries are there, that thing can be shot out using Google Classroom. We are available at any time through Google Classroom, and the assignments are to be provided through Google Classroom only. Okay. So any queries are there? So many of you are a Google Classroom channel name, this, that. So that would be provided to you through Google Classroom only. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for listening. So tomorrow sharp at 2 o'clock, we will meet again. And those students who want to implement, really wants to implement, will provide even theory assignments also.